Okay, let's have a look at my new settings. This is what I've been working on for a while and they've been doing really well for me. Fine-tuned them to suit me, and it works for all the scenarios really. It really does perform, just with a few slight tweaks in recovery speed, iron bias, sensitivity, etc. We'll just go through them now. Okay, so start off with noise cancel. Obviously, get into the field, perform a noise cancel by pressing accept and reject. This will eliminate any EMI. Ground balance, leave at 0 unless you need to adjust. If your machine's not performing properly, it's become chirpy, go into ground balance, manually adjust if you want, or perform a ground balance. Volume, I have it at 25. Expert mode, I have the iron volume at 2, everything else at 25. Threshold, your threshold of 5, just so you got that buzz coming through. You can adjust that to suit your ears. That's the threshold volume. Then you've got expert mode, keep your finger on the cog. I have a picture of 1, nice low grunt. Still in a 5-tone mode, expert mode. Okay, tone 1 is set at 1, tone 2 is set at 10, tone 3 at 20, tone 4 at 22, tone 5 at 25. All these are really high pitched and they really jump out at you, just with slight differences, but really you just want them to jump out, and that will then make the low conductors jump out because that's a different end of the scale. It's a real low grunt to a high pitch, so they both stand out. So if you're going for the small stuff, that brr, 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 you know what I mean, it jumps out at you, and you know it's going to be a small target, which could be small party facts like a small bronze ring, small tiny hammered. But yeah, it really works well on an ancient site. I go over to accept and reject. Okay, you will either have 1 or 2 also blocked out. If you want to bring them back into play, which a lot of people have been asking me how to do it, so you're in accept and reject, normal mode, just push the plus and minus buttons. You see the little block moving up? So now, if I push the accept and reject, you see how it's took it out? So if you want to bring it back into play, which is what you'll need to do, go onto the number, push accept and reject, and it blocks it back out. So from -9 to 0 is your iron area, which is blocked out, which is you can activate through the horseshoe. So that's what brings it in and out of play. Whatever area you leave in or out is activated through the horseshoe. But you want that, for my setting, to be at 1. So from 1 all the way to 40 is blocked. Into expert mode. This is where you set the tone breaks, where each tone changes. So from -9 to 0 will be our iron tone. Then from 1 to 5 will be the low tone, which is your small targets. And from 5 to 20 is the 20 tone. From 20 to 30 is the 22 tone. And then from 30 to 40 is the 25 tone. But you can't adjust that because wherever you've set that is where the next one will go to. So when you try and go to it, look, I've had people asking me, I can't get to tone 5. It's because it automatically does it from where you've set tone 4. So when you push it to go to the next one, it just goes back over to the other side. So set it as you've just seen on this video. Okay, so over into recovery. As a rule, I use recovery speed of 5 until I've got a feel for the field, and then adjust that to suit. If it's a quiet field, use a lower recovery speed. If there's quite a lot of iron in the area, you can bring it up. the effects of changing the recovery speed. So if you had a recovery speed of 1, what happens with the tone? It elongates. So instead of it going a beep, it will go beep. Yeah, so the signal comes up, it's a longer signal, elongated, and then drops off. So the signals are amplified and jumps out. If you went a recovery speed of 8, the signal's shorter, so it'll just go beep, beep, beep. So if you've got a lot of, if it's quite chirpy and there's a lot of signals going on and you've got a recovery speed of 8, you might miss some of the targets. So if you, what I would say, use 6 or 7 if you're in a real iron infested area. And if you want to go deeper and it's not much iron in the area, use a low recovery speed. At 1, it can be a bit mixed. The signals can be quite mixed up if there's a little bit of trash in the area, because you'll get a long signal for 1, and if there's 2 signals close together, then long signals can merge, so it makes it a bit of a blurry signal. So I would probably use 3 for going deep, 5 for normal, 6 or 7 if I was in a trashy area. Iron bias. I was always using 2 and then dropping it down to 0 if I was on a site where there was a lot of iron and I wanted to get the good stuff that was close to iron at a cost of digging a little bit more iron than you would normally. But as a rule now, I use 1 for everything, unless I've been pulling up some good targets on an ancient site and I know there could be good stuff, high probability of good stuff right next to iron, and then I'd bring that down to 0 then. But as I said, at a cost of digging a bit more iron. So 1 for normal searching, 0 if you really want to get into the nitty gritty. Like, but that's the main settings for my new program. Come out of it. Obviously I've dropped the sensitivity because I'm in the house. Normally I'd have that about between 23 and 25, and most of my searching is done in field 1. If you get to the area where you think there's going to be possible targets next to iron and you've dropped your iron bias down to 0, the next step to get even more chance of getting the good targets next to iron would push the detect button there and go into field 2, and that's more sensitive to the smaller targets. So with a faster recovery speed, a 0 iron bias, and field 2, that is, you're not going to miss anything, but it is more chirpy and you will dig a bit more iron. So just leave in field 1. So that's my settings. I hope it helps you out. I hope you find some good stuff. If you do, drop me a message on Facebook, Sid Perry, or leave a message on YouTube under the video. You can even like and share the video if you want. Happy days. Thanks for watching. See you in the field. Toodle pip. Got another signal coming at 4. Oh, it's broke. It is what it is though. A broken Roman ring. Happy days.